All right. Hello. Welcome, everyone, or all one of you. I don't know. Hi, bestest. I feel bad for dragging you away from Lance's so much more edifying stream, but thank you for being here, love. Hello, welcome. So let me switch over here. Now, I did change out the scene. Okay, I did. So, hi, it's me. We're on a very minimal budget right now because hi, Haru. It is good to see you, love. We are okay. So I'm not going to fight the midnight for audio supremacy. So we're just going to switch over to the instrumental version of a good song. And hello, welcome once again to another Primrose stream, another meeting of the Furry Running Club. You may notice a couple things have changed. For one, most all of the redeems are suddenly gone, and I'm down here kind of in the pit because that's where VC Face stops, so I can't really pull the avatar up any higher. And yeah, VTuber Plus stopped working. The avatar doesn't move. It doesn't have any connection to VC Face anymore. So my attempts to fix this in the remaining 15 minutes were not successful. I don't really understand how it worked in the first place. So that's great. That's lovely. I've been watching streams for the better part of 3 years now. I'm very well aware that streaming is held together with baling wire and duct tape. And yep, boy is it ever. So yeah, bust out those timber techs. I don't know what the heck is wrong, and I don't have time to fix it. So you get me. Fortunately, we do have a fallback, so you get to see me move around and everything. And but you can't do anything, which is making me very sad because I mean I want to. Okay, here's one thing I can do. I can turn back on the rear rewards, power-ups, 10 off points, and all that, but so I can turn back on Pet the Wolf. There we go. So hopefully that will actually come back. So does it? Okay, it does actually work. So it okay. All right, so the only indication is the audio now because the paw doesn't work. Because that's a VTuber Plus thing, which is broken. So I don't know why the VMC sender just stopped sending. The ports are the same. The server is the same. It's just localhost. I didn't change anything. I didn't update anything. It just, I started them up like 5 hours ago to test them and they were working just fine. And in the interim, they decided that, fuck you. There's no redeem for you. No soup for you. So yeah, we're doing it live. God damn it. It's all live. I'm a streamer. We're good at thinking on our feet or our paws in my case. So Earth. But welcome everyone to another borked up and unedifying Primrose stream. It is lovely to see all of you, both of you, whatever. This will be a short stream. I have double booked myself. I'm a popular wolf. I have admitted that. I have a lot of common streamer wisdom. We're doing it live. Exactly. Well, we're always doing it live. There's no rehearsal here. There's no script. There's I have some show notes. I'm very low tech. I printed out on a piece of paper because I don't have enough monitors. I don't have she said, fuck. I forgot the words. Shit. I don't have a speech prepared for the outro. Great. We're doing that live too, I guess. Great. You get to hear me just spout forth in my usual idiom. Great. Yeah. So anyway, we're here, but I need to, along with the many and deep to-do list, I need to talk to Kai about switching to Vinion, which I have successfully gotten to work, but I do not fucking understand, and that dog apparently does, which is good. So it's like, I'm going to say it's like, this is the redeems I have. This is what I have. This is generally stuff and all. He's just did a few things like the microphone is right over there. Help, 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 help. Get your husky self over here and save me. So that's a December thing. So that's not going to happen now. So as I was saying before, this will be a short stream. I am a popular wolf. Since I returned very early Monday morning, I have literally had, I call them dates. I have had meetings with Furs in VR every single night, save for Tuesday, because of course Tuesday was stream, a full stream. Tuesday was a great stream with the marathon stuff, and everything fucking worked on Tuesday. What the hell? But now we're much more just relaxed and all that, but I do have a time with a pair of lovely Durgs who need my attention. And so I will be cutting off relatively early tonight, but this is fine. I still wanted to see all of you. And in lieu of having anything prepared, I decided we do some vacation snaps. So we do have those. We have a lot of pictures from my recent trip to Athens, because we've had the pictures of, well, a lot of me and the race, and many photos of porta potties, because it's a race. There's yeah, we're big about the bathroom. It's a weird thing. Runners are strange, but I was in Athens I was in Greece for 2 weeks. I was in Athens for a solid week before the race, which was when I did the bulk of my touring. I did a little bit afterward, but not much, because it's mostly, well, a day of recovery after the race. And then that car we rented and drove up to Marathon and saw the museum, which you've already seen. So we've seen a little bit of the touring, but so the week before was the primary stuff. And then after I rented the car, I flew up to Saris and was up there with some family. So that's great. But the week before, well, yeah, there were a few things to see. There's a couple things to see in Athens. It's not a big deal. It's not like who am I kidding? It's one of the greatest tourist destinations in the entire planet. I've been to several of the greatest tourist destinations in the entire planet this year, because you have seen some of my 22,600, God help me, photographs from Egypt, including the iconic shot of the pyramids from the cluster of hotels at the Giza Plateau. And now we have the ne plus ultra of Western culture and art, the progenitor of every formal building that you have ever seen in your entire life, anywhere in the world, pretty much, because they're all based on this thing. This, of course, is the Parthenon. I took all of these photographs myself, by the way. The Acropolis was right there. It's a metro stop. By the way, the metro in Athens is chef's kiss. Just, oh my God, I used it probably 50 times. You can get for I think like €9.80. You can get a 5-day Athens area reusable metro pass. Absolutely worth it, because the individual ride is like €4. So to get 5 days worth, which was dozens of trips for literally double that, it's like, why would you not do that? But yeah, so I had my little metro ticket, and it was so good. So yeah, Acropolis was 4 stops on the red line south of Metaguros, where my hotel was. Just spectacular. And then you climb up the hill, and there it is. It's the Temple of Athena, of course, considering that Athena was the goddess of Athens, hence the name Athens, because it is the city of Athena. She was the patron deity of Athens, the Athenians. I mean, they were her people. They absolutely. So after their victory in over the Persians in 477 BC, where a previous Parthenon, we don't have any images or any remains of that, but it was, we heard from the records that it was in progress. Well, the Persians came in and burned everything, but then the Athenians won. They kicked their ass and kicked them back out. And so we actually do have artifacts that are burned. You can see that. So that was a bit of a mess, but then they cleared everything off and they rebuilt, and they said, okay, we won. We've got a whole bunch of money. We're good. Athena is with us. Let's go big. So the thing about this is that everybody's seen a million photographs of the Parthenon. They do not do it justice. This thing is, well, for one thing, it's huge. It's absolutely gigantic. The frieze at the first register at the top of those columns is 12 meters high. It's gigantic. It's absolutely stunning. It just consumes the horizon. Now, of course, the view is a little bit ruined by all of the scaffolding, but Parthenon has been an ongoing construction project for decades now because little bit of bad shape. It's been a little rough. It's been a little bit of a mess. But let's go back to the beginning. So the build started in 447 BC. I just love the fact that we have so much detail about ancient Greek history that we could say, yeah, it's like, oh yeah, when did this start? It's like, well, it was ordered by Heracles in 447 BC as a victory, as a celebration of this and all that. And here's the speech he gave for it. And oh, here's the records of the finances for it, because we have so much information. Because Athenian democracy was an interesting one because it was direct democracy. So all of the voting eligible citizens, which is, free males who own property. Not exactly universal manhood suffrage there. Sorry. Considering that there were a shitload of slaves, but we're not going to talk about that. But so they all had a vote. So you had to inform them what's going on. Of course, there is no internet. So what do? Well, you carve all of the finances for all these projects that you're doing so you can be accountable to the populace onto the stele. And you put them around in the Forum or the Acropolis, something, because it's a huge meeting place, of course. And they would be there for a while, and probably, assumedly, they get thrown away or chopped up into bits or something. But a lot of them survive, and we have them. It's like, okay, great. So we've got your fucking books from 2,500 years ago. So we've got all the details you could ever possibly want. It's stunning, and it's just, when we get to the graveyard a little later, we know that at certain periods the fancy burials had to stop because it was banned, because it was considered too ostentatious. We have all these details. It's I love history so much. It's like these people are ready to just, it's like you're going to see Pericles just walk out of those steps. Although those steps are fucking huge. I mean, those things are way, way tall. I mean, this is a big building. Holy moly. It's really something. So it's really something. So over its 2,500 year history, the Parthenon, of course, originated as the Temple of Athena. It contained a monumental, spectacular gold and ivory sculpture of Athena herself, of course, which is long, long lost to history. We have no idea what it looked like. If only for a time machine. There are such sights we need to see, but we know a lot about what this building looked like, but it has not had it easy since. This, it's been a little bit on the rough side. So let me go to my next photograph here of the side. And you can see that, large, huge portions are missing because it's been used for a bunch of different purposes, not all of them particularly good. So, after the Christians came in, they used it as a church because, of course, temples to pagan goddesses, not exactly copacetic anymore. So, we're making it into a church. That's okay. So actually, yes, that sounds sacrilegious, but the things that they didn't make into churches, they tended to knock down. So, like the Pantheon in Rome, which I've also seen, the Parthenon was actually preserved due to the fact that it was converted into a church because it's a church now, so we can't destroy it. But so it kind of in a weird backwards way, it ended up saving it, which is good because it's the foundational building of Western culture. I mean, this is it. If you go to a courthouse anywhere, it looks like this. If you go to a big office building a lot, it looks like this. They've got these columns and these everything looks like this, and it's always white because that's the marble, of course. It wasn't white in antiquity. They painted everything. It was just glaring, garishly colored. I mean, we find bits of the paint in nooks and crannies, which of course has all been worn away by the millennia. So now they look at this, they looked at this 50, 100 years ago. So, oh, it's a pure marble building. We're going to make our buildings in echo of this. And, well, they'll be white marble. And that's why every courthouse and the town hall and everything. Oh, thank you, Astral. I'm sorry. There are no paws. There are no other redeems because VTuber Plus decided it wasn't going to play nice today. So we've fallen back to VC face. So yay. So we've got the audio. I turned that back on, but I can't make them talk to each other anymore. They worked a few hours ago when I tested it, but now it's like 15 minutes before. It's like, great, it's borked. Oh, hecky. Okay, well, we're doing it live. We're going back and we're falling back. That's all right. It's a short stream because yeah, you know exactly why. Yeah, my good Dirk. Yeah. I'm looking forward to this for a while. So yeah. So anyway, you sound a lot better. Oh, thank you. Wait, I sounded bad? What was it? You mean from this morning when I was exhausted, or you mean was I sounding bad yesterday? I'm confused. Earth. So, anyway, so of course, last stream sounded very, it was, I'm kind of operating on a second wind right now because I was very tired on Tuesday. That was extremely rough. Sunday into Monday was an incredibly hard transit. I told you all about that. So I did get some good rest on Tuesday after stream. Not so much after Wednesday. All was going good. I had a lovely evening with my partners, except for a few incidents, but getting ready to go to bed, and then things I will not describe happened. So I ended up being up until about 2, so that didn't work so well. So yeah, so your wolf has not got a lot of sleep last night, so I'm kind of running on borrowed time, but that's all right. We'll make it work. So it's all right. I'm used to this. So anyway, so after the Christians did their thing for a while, well, the Muslims came in because, you know, the whole Muslim conquest thing. So they said, well, that's not good. It's a church. We can't have that. So we're going to make it into a mosque. They even built a minaret. There's a model of it in the museum, which we will get to. It's really quite something. And then, of course, the Christians came in and conquered, and they knocked that over. And so it's back and forth, back and forth. So it's always been a little chopped up. So originally, and we do know this from the architectural footprint, and also just from drawings and those accountings that I talked about before, but we're also familiar, of course. So it was a gigantic temple to Athena, but it was 2 actually. So there were 2. There's this massive colonnade around the outside that we see, of course, with the frieze at the top. There was an inner colonnade. You can just see there in the middle there between sort of the there's the first one, which is surrounded by scaffolding, the one immediate to the farthest left here, closest to me, and then there's another one to the farthest right, excuse me. And then to the immediate left of that, there's another gigantic column. And right behind that, there's one from the inner colonnade. Most of them are gone. They were destroyed in something I'll talk about in a second. But then we had an inner, bigger frieze that ran around that. which is just spectacular. The marbles are nuts. We will get to that at the Acropolis Museum later. So don't worry, we'll get there. But and then the wall, the partial marble wall in there is actually, there were two huge rooms, and they did not communicate with each other. There's a wall between them, so you could go in the west side, you can go in the east side. It's almost like two separate temples back to back, but you couldn't walk from one to the other. You could have to go around. So that's interesting. I don't know exactly why. I mean, I did read it in a museum. It's a little fuzzy right now, but their exact religious practices are a little beyond me. But it's a heck of a thing. But so the problem is, the Acropolis was also turned into a castle, because it's like, oh, it's a defensible hill. There's a lot of marble, so they had the unfortunate habit of disassembling some of the priceless treasures of Western antiquity and building walls out of them to make fortifications. It's like, guys, can we talk? Can we talk for a second here? Please don't use that block. Oh God, no. The problem is, this has gone on forever. I mean, history is a palimpsest. There's everything has been reused over and over again, and it breaks the heart. But of course, I mean, so yeah, you've got to build yourself a temple to your gods now, and it's like, okay, so we need a whole bunch of marble. It's expensive. The quarry is 1,000 miles away. It's a real pain in the ass. We have to transport it. It's like, oh wait, there's a whole lot of it right over there. And it's like, yeah, those gods are defunct. We defeated them and killed all of them off. So it's like, yeah, nobody worships them anymore. So it's like, yeah, Frank, get some guys and go over there and just like acquire a few blocks, because that's some nice dressed marble. That's some good building material right there. Let's use that. So this has happened all around the world across the entire span of history. I remember reading somewhere actually. It's interesting that a lot of buildings will have the roof and the foundation and no middle, because what happens is, as the structure stops being used and stops being maintained, the roof, of course, will collapse and will turn into rubble and just sort of fall down. And then the foundation, of course, is at the bottom, is buried by all of that rubble. So that is preserved, and it gets the soil comes in and fills in the gaps and everything. So you end up with these columns and these other walls sticking up that used to be the middle, and that's the part that gets stolen. And they say, oh, well, that's some good building material right there. We just disassemble that wall, cart off those blocks, and wham, we're good to go. So the roof, yeah, it's a bunch of pieces, but we can work with that. We can dig it up, we can reassemble it, and the foundation is there because we can excavate. But the middle, it's gone. It's gone. It's really weird. So anyway, so they turned it into a castle. Then they turned it into a military base, as you do. And in 1687, one of the greats in the history of bad decisions, they used it as a powder magazine. And the Venetians attacked, and they had a cannonball make a direct hit, and it hit the powder magazine, and it blew up. So the whole middle bit there, yeah, just got completely blown to hell. The roof just gone, just blown completely to smithereens. Just, jeez, it breaks the heart. This huge explosion in this priceless artifact, one of the most important buildings in the entire world, just blown to bits. So the Greek government, for some 30, 40 years now, has had a long-term, full-time project to restore the Parthenon. Multiple restorations have happened in the past. They talked about this here at the site and also at the museum. And the problem is, in the past, some of their quote-unquote restoration was worse than the initial damage. They did some terrible stuff. So a lot of modern restoration work is going in and walking back previous restorations and revealing the original surfaces. And they take pains now to do it scientifically so that all of the current restoration work can be reversed easily. It doesn't damage any of the original stones or anything, even though you're putting in new sections to support them, but you carefully delineate which is old and which is new, and you don't like glue them together, so that in 100 years, when we have better stuff, it's easier to undo what we're doing now, because nothing we do is forever. We don't. I read something today in a coin collecting journal of all things, but you don't buy coins, you rent them. You're only going to live for so long. We don't own history. We borrow it, and then we hand it down to those who are to come. So it is in our interests, and it is our duty to try not to fuck it up, and to try to preserve it so that when they have some better technology with teleporters or God knows what, that they don't need our current technology anymore, it's easy for them to peel it back and undo it. So we're not damaging things permanently anymore, which is nice. So Earth. So it's really the thing that struck me the most. It's one, just how evocative this building is. I mean, there's much made in the museum of the fact that the lines are not actually parallel. There are gentle curves involved here because they really knew what they were doing, and it makes the building almost sort of seem organic. It leans in a certain way. It makes it look bigger than it actually is, but it's big. It's bigger. It's really friggin' big anyway. So it doesn't. I mean, they did it. It's great, but it's just. I mean, this is the pinnacle of temple construction. These guys knew what they were doing, and we know the names of the architects. I had no idea it had been utilized for so many purposes throughout history. Yes, absolutely love it. I love history so much. It's fascinating. Everything's been reused and recycled. So that word, I'm probably pronouncing it wrong. Palimpsest is a term from what do you call it? Document conservation, where they would have a piece of parchment, and parchment is expensive. Taking the skin of some animal and treating it takes months. Shit's expensive. So writing a book, expensive. So you didn't throw that away when you were done. If you wanted to write a new book and all that, what they would do is they'd scrape the ink off and they would reuse the same sheet of parchment again, sometimes multiple times. And so the thing is, if you're really, really good at what you're doing and you use the right technology with multispectral imaging and all that, you can actually read the previous writing. So you get multiple layers out of the same sheet of parchment, and they call it a palimpsest, I believe. So history is a palimpsest. Egypt is one. Greece is obviously one, but it's just, I love this stuff so much. It's so evocative, and for someone who has been through so much, the concept of history, it's not that it's safe or something. It's just that it's such a remove. It's not quite as brutal as modern events or anything. I mean, yes, we've been terrible to each other for millennia, but you and my dad would talk for hours about this stuff. I would love to meet him. I'd love to talk about this. So I have abandoned plans to get a second degree in CS for my work. One, my work doesn't give a damn. They don't care. They never have cared that I actually do not have a CS degree, even though I work in IT, because I'm kind of self-taught, but I have a lot of experience in safety, which is what I'm really the critical thing for my job. But the CS is kind of silly, but I was starting to do that before she died. But I want to get a history degree. I kind of want to stream my history PhD. Yeah, I'm getting ambitious here, but I got to retire for that one first. But yeah, so yeah, a decade from now, I could be talking about my paper or something, or my thesis. Hey, I think that would be kind of fun. It's so fascinating. I love reading so much. Hello, puppy. Hello, Bryce. Thank you for being here. Thank you, all of you, so much. So it's so evocative. This is just so that's been reused over and over again. That would be awesome. I would love to do that. I'd love to read a little more than a half hour a day, which is a lift already, but I forced myself to do that because my to-read list is fearsome. The books, I got 6 more in Athens because I'm stupid. That's the last thing I need is more books to read. And they're a bitch to get home too, but I love it so much, and I think that would be cool. I could take you with me. I could show you pictures and stuff. Because I do have this ability to travel, so I would go to places and take pictures and show you things, and I think that would be fun. I think that'd be a lot of fun. Actually learn to read hieroglyphs for real and stuff like that. So anyway, we're going to hit an ad pretty soon here. I'm not going to keep pushing it off forever, but I will go to one more image of the Parthenon. And so yet another view. You can see on the I think this is the south side. It's a bit of a mess. Now, they have been doing decades of ongoing reconstruction and stabilization work, so things have gotten a lot better than they were, but still, there's entire huge portions that are just gone. It's just those explosions just did so much damage, but also purposeful damage. I mean, it's a graven image thing, so some religions don't like that, so it's kind of... yeah, nobody will ever lose well enough alone, but Earth. But what we have here is one of my most favorite things that I have seen in sites all over Europe. And this is, well, I called it random marble storage. So I saw this first in Rome because it was everywhere. You would see these stacks and stacks of Koyofu, thank you for the alert, welcome in, love. You'd see these stacks and stacks and stacks of carved ancient marble pieces just piled up like cordwood, shoved into a corner of the Colosseum. They use them as benches in the Forum in Rome because it's a frieze from a building that doesn't exist anymore, so we might as well just thunk it there by the side of the path and tourists can sit on it. Okay. So anyway, we're going to take a break of my musings because I can't really push this off anymore. And we're going to take 3. So everybody get up and stretch, and we will... I should actually use my intermissions this time. We'll be right back. Stand by. Urf, urf, urf. All right. So for those suffering from crash commercialism, we're not back yet, but I am back. My watch wasn't red yet, so I just walked around inside the house as opposed to going outside. It's a little chilly out there, but I will probably have to go outside soon, but in the next hour. But grabbed a packet of applesauce. Needed a little snacky snack. That's not too many calories. It should be okay. Your wolf is chonkier after the Greek food. Exclamation point Discord. I have many photographs of the absolutely spectacular food. Oh god, it was so good that I had in Greece, but that is not in this set. But so anyway, we will. Got 40 seconds left, but we will. Okay, it's we're still on Stream Beats. That's good. So I know I need to do better music. I need to fix VTuber Plus now. I don't know how. I don't have time. I have to go into the office tomorrow, and then I fly out on Saturday. So having an interesting life is great. So the one thing I need to do is I need to get rid of this fucking job. I need to retire, and then I will replace the time with more travel. More streams would be nice. More furs, more visiting, more watching streams. God, I miss watching streams so much. I desperately miss it. And welcome back, everyone, by the way. Thank you. And more reading. Maybe a class or two continuously on remote. Yeah, your wolf will talk about what I read and what I studied in my paper and everything. Yeah. So anyway, welcome back. So thank you. So this section around here, so I called it random marble storage. I've seen it in Egypt, or hundreds of thousands of these pieces. Now, it wasn't marble there. It's all limestone, but still these carved blocks. Just so where do these come from? What are these things? What is these? So the official term that I saw on the Acropolis, so this is apparently the quote unquote official term, is disassociated member, which sounds vaguely lewd. I'll disassociate your member. But it's not. It's just what these are. These are pieces of, in the middle of cooking some death ramen. Oh, Care. Thank you, my great love, for being here. I'm glad you're listening to me. I absolutely am. I hope you're having a good evening there. I can picture your apartment as clear as day. Oh God, I'm going to be there in 2 days. Oh God, I can't wait to see you, my great love. No, I will not eat the death ramen again. God, that hurts so much. Oh, that hurts so bad. Ow. Anyway, so these disassociated members are blocks of previous structures, temples, statues, statue bases, everything else, walkways, you name it, that have been dug up over the centuries of, use your words, Wolf, of excavation over and over again at these incredibly famous sites. And we have no idea what they came from, because over the millennia, the building that it came from, or the small substructure or whatever, it's just gone. So all we have is these bits and pieces. So I called it random marble storage. So as they excavate these things, they just pile them up. And there are tens of thousands of them. It's the world's largest jigsaw puzzle with no clearly defined sides, no painting on any side, no picture to follow, and no idea what the fuck they were. So good luck with that. With your extremely deep knowledge of history and the ability to read all of the scripts ever used at this site, you might be able to glean enough clues to figure out what the hell this associated member was. Many times you never will know again. We just never will. So, but we're certainly not going to get rid of them. So they piled them up. They piled them in Rome. They piled them in Luxor. They piled them in Athens here at the Acropolis. It fascinates me. This is literally just history, just stacked up. So many structures, so many sites, so many things lost forever. But we have the pieces. We have the bits and pieces. Now, we can go back later, possibly get lucky as they're doing the reconstruction and say, wait a second, that block over there that I saw 20 years ago, that would actually fit here. And they do actually recover these and put them back in place and put them in the correct matrix and everything. But that's very rare. There are so many in Egypt. Oh my God. They actually consolidated them from multiple digs everywhere into the general storage at the Temple of Luxor, which had 175,000 pieces. I've showed you pictures of them. It blew me away. It's exactly like the warehouse at the end of Indiana Jones, for real. They go on forever. These history bits, history detritus. It's incredible. Ooh, Gib. Earth. Yeah. So yeah, you can have the angy insides and the burning muzzle puppy. That's all you. Care, I will decline. I love you, but no. No, please, no, ow. Oh God, I couldn't. Oh, my mouth burn. Bernie Wolf. Ow. Oh God, your cuisine is, your cooking is magnificent, Kara. Your death ramen is well named. I am very. Did you call it death ramen before, or was that my term? I forget. I think that might be mine. I can't remember if I called it the false death ramen, but it's, oh boy, double spicy, and then you jazz it up because that's not spicy enough. Ow. I'm not good with spicy. I am very spicy, but not spicy. Death Realm is my term. Yes, that is wolf term. Earth, that's a prim term. Yay. So yes, it's but I'm glad that you call it that now. That makes me very happy. My great love. So I have many years of experience learning about neologisms and all that, especially from watching Cody. I use some of his, Jesus, I use them at work. Oh my goodness. Hecky. There's one. So I make up my own. Although I've given people nicknames a lot, although since we're furries, it's easy because we all have nicknames. But I like it. I want seconds. That's all you. That's all you. Kia had no problem with it. He ate his bowl with no any complaint. I'm over there. It's like, I promised I would finish this. I'm going to finish this. I'm just focused. I'm going to finish this. I'm going to get to the bottom of this bowl. I'm going to finish this ramen. I'm going to finish this. It hurts so bad, but I'm going to finish. And I finished it, and God, did it hurt! Oh, that was a struggle. Jeez, you keep your I'll run a marathon any day over the death ramen. Thank you. Oh my goodness. Anyway, so disassociated member storage at the Parthenon in the Acropolis in Athens. Just a new term. I love that. Disassociated member. I'm so immature, but I am a furry. So, Coda, welcome, love. Welcome. Thank you for joining. I saw your story. This is so silly. And I too need my glasses to see. So yeah, we kind of need to keep those. They can't see them on my model, but they are important. So anyway, we have another shot here of the same section, just slightly different angle. Ooh, trip pictures. Yes. Vacation snaps. Vacation snaps. Did you only just arrive, Tech? Because I will go back because there's only a few in. It's the fucking Parthenon. I mean, this is, oh God, it's huge. This building. It's just, oh my goodness. It's huge. It's huge. Primhone, I'll make you some good Alfredo chicken pasta wraps. They can have that. Oh. Now that sounds good. That sounds good. I do love food. I do love to eat. You put food in front of me and I love you long time because I'm totally about acts of service. That's my thing. I'm a service wolf, and you put food in front of me and, well, the old joke that she said that she'd never believe the line about a way to a man's heart is through his stomach until she met me. She did not fear some floozy with big knockers taking me away. She worried about some floozy with a really nice cake. And not that kind of cake. Good. Oh God, that's a typo for the H's. That's a typo for the H's. Oh my God, Astro. Oh my God. I'm sorry, I can't stop. Oh, that's. Oh, yes, Astral. I too am slowly learning to cock for myself. I hope someday to be experienced at cocking. I train quite regularly at cocking. I am trying to be better. It's a process, but it's an enjoyable one. I do enjoy cocking. I'm not a professional cocker, but I do enjoy cocking. So yes. I'm sorry to make fun of you, but that is a typo for the ages. That is a Freudian slip and a half right there. That is unbelievable. I love that. So, hush you, Wolf. That's I'm going to stick something in my muzzle, love. You are talking about learning to cock. So anyway, I'm not as cool as Light, who takes screenshots of Aeon's incredibly cursed things and puts them around his channel. I won't do that, but that's a good one. That's a good one. So anyway, so here we have, of course, the Parthenon. You can get some idea of just how fucking huge it is because that building on the far left is a 2-story building, and that's a big industrial crane next there for moving the dissociative member blocks, and it's dwarfed by the just gigantic columns of the Parthenon. It's absolutely huge. It's absolutely huge. So yeah, of course, Parthenon in the middle of the dissociative member storage, and the building on the left is the headquarters of the restoration. This is it's kind of a temporary building, but not really. It's probably been there for decades, and they're probably going to be there forever, because the restoration of the Parthenon is one of those things that, honestly, for restoration specialists, they probably love being assigned here, because it's like, yeah, you're going to spend your entire career here and you won't finish, but you will make progress and you will go down and be part of history of one of the most iconic structures on this entire planet. So I'm sure restoration specialists buy really hard for these jobs, only the best of the very best. And there were works ongoing while I was there. They will be working on this for longer than I will be alive, and longer than any one of us will be alive. It's going to take forever, but that's okay. It's I read somewhere, how do you build something that will not be finished in your lifetime? And the idea is you set up a structure so that those who follow you can learn the process and can know what the plan is, so that when they take over and they inherit things, they can continue and then pass it on to their progeny, which is a metaphor, of course, for life, that we are only here for a certain time, unfortunately. And this is said as a 50-year-old wolf in a month. We are only here for the time that we are given, and what we leave behind is those that we touched. Yeah. Oh, I'm so sorry, Tech. I am truly sorry. So we, anyway, that's just the Parthenon. That's blew me away. Just absolutely, just spectacular. Just so good. So, all right, let's move on. Another incredibly famous structure that's not only the Parthenon's up there, it's actually quite large. It's actually, the Acropolis is quite big. It's not that hard to climb. It's a significant one. It's maybe 300-400 feet tall, but there's a very good pass and everything. The tourists can handle it, but you do got to do some walking. Not a big deal. Although they do have a elevator for disabled people. It is completely outside, surrounded by glass in a shaft that hangs out into space off the side of the Acropolis. So don't look down, owie, Earth. So I am going to utterly fucking butcher it. Good thing you've touched me a lot, huh? Yes, I've touched many here. So Earth, that sounds bad, but it was all consensual. So anyway, Earth, yes. Yes. Yeah, you've done that to me too, Coda. Earth. Anyway, focus, Wolf, focus. This, I will butcher this name. I try to look for a pronunciation like an event. Erection. It's not erection. Erection. Anyway, this is a temple. Thank you, Coda. I am the good boy. This is a temple dedicated to a singular event in myth and legend. And that event is a contest. I had never heard of this, but this is one of the foundational myths of Athens, is that when the city was founded back in the mists of time, although they probably have a date that they use, a specific date for this, they were founding a new, incredibly important city. And there was a contest among the Olympian gods for who is going to be the patron god of this new city, of this spectacular city-state. Of course, they did this, they wrote this, they retconned this centuries later because they were so important and self-important with themselves. So they made up this myth, but for their foundation. And Athena and Poseidon, two of the primary Olympian gods in the Greek pantheon, vied against each other for who would become the patron god of Athens. Now, it wasn't called Athens at the time, of course, because that happened after she won. And the nature of this contest was an interesting one. They were both asked to provide gifts to the people of the city that would become Athens. So Poseidon said, okay, well, they need water. I'm the god of the sea. I have an idea. I'll provide them a spring that will feed them forever with water. And he struck the ground with his trident, and a spring welled forth. Unfortunately, Poseidon is the god of the sea. The spring was salty and is therefore useless. So, unfortunately, Poseidon lost because Athena took her spear, as Athena as goddess of wisdom and the hunt. Interesting combination. The gods were responsible for multiple things. I love history. I want to learn about this so much. God. Anyway, she took her spear and she struck the ground, and where it struck, an olive tree grew. And that was a gift useful to the people of the city, because they could take those olives, they could plant more olive trees, and olives, of course, are a huge thing in Greece to this day. They're everywhere. And olive trees are a giant mistake if you use them as street trees, because they drop the fucking olives everywhere and they get these black stains all over the sidewalk as they rot. But still, if you like olive anything, which Lord knows I do love me a good olive oil. God, they have some good ones here. But so yes, Athena won with the olive tree, and there was a ceremonial olive tree inside this building that supposedly was the one that she had planted. That, of course, is long gone. There is one that they planted in like the 1980s for some event for the Greek state, but this is back in the building. Now, those ladies, those columns in the shape of female figures, the caratids, those are fakes. We'll get to the real ones in a bit. It's interesting. It's really interesting. Those are really nice sculptures. So, this is just the side of the Acropolis, showing that in the early medieval times, hello, Czar, hello, love, one of the many, many lives that the Acropolis has lived has been as a castle. So they took all these disassociated members, all these pieces of history, all these carved blocks, and ripped apart the structures and built a wall around the Acropolis, which is still there, of course, because it is now a piece of history. As much as it pains the heart that they chopped up all of the other temples to build a fucking wall, but what are you going to do? So, but one thing here in another picture I'll show in a second is the city surrounds the Acropolis below, and it's just the most spectacular sight. It goes for 360 degrees all around. Most of the buildings in Athens are white because it gets really hot in the summer. And it's just, the city glowed all around. It was so beautiful. I spent like an hour just staring out over the city, just circling around. This is standing on top of the highest point in the Acropolis, which has a Greek flag on it. It was packed with tourists, but I just would take picture after picture after picture. And it's just so magnificent. Just gorgeous. The Acropolis is one of the most incredible places I've ever been in my entire life. Truly, truly incredible. So there are more things on the Acropolis than just the structures on top of them. Not all of which I have photographs of, but I'm not going to subject you to all of them. I might later. But there are other things, such as 2 theaters. This is the Odeum of Herods. I don't know exactly why an Odeum differs from another theater, because there's a theater of Dionysus, which is right next door, a little off to the left there. But this is a big, old school. You talk about Greek theater. This is it. This is the progenitor. Now you notice that the rake of those seats is incredibly steep, and there's a reason for that, because you needed to keep the people as close to the stage as possible, because of course there was no amplification. So the actors are using their voices, and that is, of course, one of the great skills of acting in the age before amplification, is you had to be really good with your voice. You had to project. You had to have power. You had to practice. They were all men, because of course they were sexist bastards, but also because men have bigger chests. So you get a lot of power and you can move a lot of air. So, but you needed obviously the crowds to be able to see over each other, but you need to keep them close. So the angle of those seats is very, very steep. It's like 50 degrees. So get them as close as possible. So the sound also, it helps with keeping the sound sort of contained in that bowl. Just spectacular. And that huge structure behind is a permanent set, essentially. And all those little niches and everything, you can have actors be up there, pop out of. You could have scaffolding and works and all that extend down from below that. They were famous for the Deus Ex Machina, which is the gods from above. And so there would be a play, and everybody's in a huge giant mess. There's a huge thing, and a god literally descends from the heavens via a crane. An actor lowers them down. An actor playing the god is lowered down and fixes everything. The Deus Ex Machina, and it's the machine, the god in the machine, and it's amazing. So it's like up, nope, everything's fucked. But Zeus came and fixed it all. We're good. It seems. I mean, okay, as literary devices go, it certainly has its history, but seems a little contrived to me, but that's just me. But there also, the interesting part of this, there was a roof over this. It was actually a fabric cover supported on huge poles. It's really interesting. Cool, my great love. Welcome. I am going to keep doing this because you have to see this. I am a good boy, but look at that. It's the Parthenon. I saw the Parthenon. I took pictures of the Parthenon when I was before I did my marathon in Greece only 2 weeks ago. Look at that sky. God, the weather was perfect. It was so gorgeous. It's the Parthenon. The thing is huge. It's gigantic. Oh, wow, what a sight. I love that so much. So this is of course, we're at the Odeum. So anyway, this is the theater. This is down on the slopes of the Acropolis. You climb up past this on the way up to the peak where the Parthenon, the Erection, and all the other structures. There's about 6 or 7 up there. We're a lot more. And throughout the millennia, of course, there's been a whole bunch, which has generated the disassociated members as they get ripped apart. But it's been reused for so many times. It's really, really interesting. It's just spectacular. So yes, if you only have one day in Athens, go to the Acropolis. You got to go to the Acropolis. It's truly magnificent. So why was I there? Why was I in Athens? So just being a tourist? Yes, of course. But also, I was there to run a marathon. We talked about that last time on Tuesday in great detail. But I did training runs, of course, every single day, including literally the Saturday, the day before the marathon itself, because it is not good to not run at all just before a big race. But these are very short, easy runs. Sometimes earlier in the week, it was like maybe 3-4 miles. Later in the week, it'd only be like 20 minutes. Really, really short, just to give me a chance to limber up a little. Then I go back to my hotel and I would do my after run stretches, which would really help me a lot. And so I'd be in good shape for the big race. Day one, after I had arrived, having flown for a very long time in Athens, I left my hotel with all my running stuff and I headed towards the National Garden, which required a ticket to get in, so I couldn't run there. So I just ran on the streets. Hence this picture taken on my run. Running on the streets of a major city is a bad idea. There's a lot of people. They gave me all kinds of weird looks as this tall American wearing almost nothing ran past, although they were probably somewhat used to it because there were tens of thousands of marathoners descending upon Athens at this time. So, but this is just random streets of Athens. And then we have these little sons of bitches. The metal posts there painted in green, not the scooter behind it. Ignore that. But this is not the one that got me, but this is an example of the type. This is actually taken about a week later in Monastaki, but I took it as an example for you guys. These barriers are everywhere. And I was coming up on one while I was doing my run that day. And I thought, okay, I'm going to not vault over it, but I'm going to go around it, but I'm going to hold on to it with my hand and sort of pull myself around and sort of launch myself around it so I can get as close as possible, so go around it. Great plan, no big deal. It came out of the ground on the other side, and all my weight was then on it at that point, and I ripped it out of the ground, and it slammed into my right thigh very hard, very, very hard. And I felt this ringing sensation. It hurt like hell. The next few steps, it hurt like hell to run, but then it went away. And then the next morning, my quad had locked up and I couldn't bend my knee. So that was a bit of a problem. So this was, of course, 5 days before my first marathon that I had flown thousands of miles to do. I was a little upset. It's like, okay, did I just fuck myself before my marathon? So I tried stretching and it got a little better, but I wrote to my coach and she was extremely kind and extremely helpful and said, okay, listen, 1, don't panic. You've got time. 2, these things happen. And she told me a story about her first marathon outside of the town where I live, where she also lives. She had done that, I think, multiple times. And then she did another one in another city. So her first sort of travel marathon. And she had gone there. And when she was going to the expo to register, to pick up her bib, she missed so you know those things around street trees where they have these grates with the hole in the middle where the tree goes out of? Well, there was no hole there, so there was no tree, so it's just a hole. And she stuck her foot in the hole accidentally and wrenched her leg and whacked her knee up against the side of the metal. So it hurt real bad, and she was really messed up. And that was literally the day before the marathon. So she went through the same thing as, oh, great, I just fucked myself. All that work for nothing. I'll never be able to run. And she said, no, listen, we've been training forever. You've been training for a year. You're tough. You'll be okay. You can walk. If you can walk, you can run. And she was right. It hurts now. It's been 2 weeks and it still hurts now. I need to stretch. Well, I stretch every day anyway, but I still need to stretch it if I sit too long or especially when I wake up at night. It is still tight. It is getting better. There's no visible bruise on the outside of my thigh, but I bruised myself way deep in the muscle. And it is slowly recovering. But 5 days after I did this to myself, I ran a marathon and it did not stop me. Maybe my performance was not as good as it could have been. We've all talked about how my time wasn't the fastest in the world, but I finished, which is the important part. And so, yes, resilience is one of those things that because as endurance runners, it's not so much, I'm not really into the speed. It's all about the consistency. I can keep going forever and ever and ever. I have a lot of endurance. I can do intense physical activity for more than 5 solid hours. Giggity. I have really strong legs. Yeah. Probably have a really nice ass. Honestly, I don't know. But anyway, so yeah, so this is a bit of a nemesis there, but I persisted and I kept going. So fortunately, yes, I appreciate the concern, Haru, but I was freaking the fuck out, but she calmed me down and she was right. And as we all saw on Tuesday, I finished the marathon and it wasn't a problem because I don't have to bend my knee that much when I ran. Thank you, Zari. I'm a good boy. By the way, the reason all of the redeems are gone and the paw isn't there for the pets is because VTuber Plus decided it wasn't going to play tonight. So we're back to VC face. So I am sorry. Everything is fucked. I do not know how to fix it because I didn't know how I did it in the first place. So great. That was lovely to see 15 minutes before stream. So we're back to VC face. Yeah, sorry. All of those commands and everything are gone. I'm angry. Hopefully I can fix it, but I have no time. So yeah, I'm sorry. This was literally 10 minutes before stream when I started disabling those. I put back the pet because although the pets don't work, the voice is still there. That's actually me. So you can call me a good boy. So that's yeah, I'm sorry. I tried, but streaming, held together with baling wire. It really is. Earth. So anyway, let's do that. Dangerous metal barrier. Okay, so running on the street is bad. This is much better. This is a park that is just north of the National Archaeological Museum. That was a spectacular place to run. Just gorgeous. Look at these wide, beautiful paths. The whole way around was about a mile, so I go around multiple times. There were tons of people running in here. Just this, so I ran, this is about 20 minutes from my hotel, walking down the streets each way, no big deal. And then I would be here, and it just, oh, it was just gorgeous, running through the trees in the middle of the city, just spectacular. You're pushing through it. That's the important thing. Thank you, my great love. Yes. I'm sorry. You're my love, not my great love. I'm sorry. I'm overstepping myself. Anyway, yes, that's endurance running is all about persistence, because if you give up, you'll never make a marathon. Never, ever. If you get injured and you give up, you'll never make a marathon, because you are going to hurt. You have to keep going. You have to keep going for a very, very long way, even though you hurt. So anyway, this was a great place to run. I love this park so much. The name is far beyond my ability to pronounce. So excuse me for my tiredness. What time is it? 7. Oh, we're doing good. Doing good. About an hour left. Might be a little late astral at this rate. So, so we talk about the National Archaeological Museum. Let's go visit the National Archaeological Museum. And this is what everybody's there for. The spectacular, gorgeous Mycenaean treasures. Sorry, PC got angry, had to restart. Welcome back, puppy. I'm sorry about that. But just need more. I am not throwing you two over, damn it, Earth. But the problem is postponing. We're into December. But anyway, the spectacular treasures, just gorgeous. Just, oh my God, just unbelievably spectacular. Just so good. I mean, the peaks of Western art. We're not sure who this was. It was either Zeus or Poseidon. He was holding something. It's either a thunderbolt or his trident. We're not sure, but yeah, you looking good there, man. Holy moly. That's some good bod right there. Wow. Wow. Yeah. People have been copying these. People were sketching all over the place in here. People have been copying these sculptures for millennia. But there were lots of other things that really struck me. These, this is the Cyclades. The Cyclades are the islands in the Aegean, outside the Peloponnese Peninsula itself, actually, which is where the start of Greek civilization was, 1,000 years before the other city-states. And they left behind tons of artifacts that we don't understand, namely these called frying pans. They weren't frying pans. They're made out of their pottery. Uh-oh. You are going to get me banned, Spotify. So we'll switch to Walking Dog. It moved to a different artist. Not an improved one. Anyway. Important to remember, these things were made by hand. Any imperfections are either impossible to actually do, or they skillfully including the results, so they weren't mistakes anymore. Very true. Very true. So these, we have no idea what they were for. We call them frying pans because that's what they look like. Thank you, Cade. But we don't know what they were for. There's many of them, and we may never know what they were for, what it really was. It's fascinating. It's so much we still don't know. We do know a lot, but not everything. And then they had a lot of these. These are funeral stelae. So the standing figure to the right is the woman who died, greeting her bereaved father, and her son in the background behind her for one last time, carved by her grieving family in remembrance of her. These are so evocative. I had a lot of trouble in these galleries. It hurt after a while. There, thank you. I am a good boy. So it's the emotion in this art is just spectacular. There were hundreds of these, hundreds and hundreds of these. It's amazing. This is just a tiny subset of my photos, by the way, but I'm just trying to give you an overview. This is the cafe in the National Archaeological Museum. What a spectacular space. Olive trees, the Greek sky, ancient Greek sculpture all around the periphery. You can see it in the background there. And you can sit and have a coffee, have a smoke. Just, oh my God, it's so beautiful. Like a dozen different languages being spoken. It's, spectacular, spectacular. And then, of course, I saw this. If you know, you know. This, for geeks, is the holy grail. I give to you the Antikythera mechanism. I saw it. If you do not know what this is, look it up on YouTube. It is a mechanical computer from 2,500 years ago. You can see those teeth, the tiny, tiny little teeth on that gear wheel of this heavily corroded artifact. There are 80 gears piled up inside here in multiple layers. These gears rest upon each other. The calculations done by this device are unbelievably detailed. This was an astronomical indicator of such stunning precision and complexity that this is what Raymond Burke said, that if Greek civilization had not fallen, if we didn't have the Dark Ages, although they really weren't that dark, he said that maybe the Greeks would have colonized every star we can see because they were so advanced. You think that the ancients were running around stupid. They were not. They carved this by hand. Those teeth are so minuscule. They carved them by hand. This is, yeah, there's a great series by ClickSpring where he redid a Antikythera mechanism. I highly, highly suggest you watch it. Oh my goodness. It is so absolutely incredible. Just the Antikythera. I love seeing that. So, random streets around the Acropolis, just very touristy, tons of cafes everywhere. Just, Athens, just so spectacular. The Acropolis is not the only archaeological site in Athens. There are actually quite a few. This is the ancient Agora of Athens. This is the Roman Forum. That right there is the Tower of the Winds. There are apparently 8 winds, not just 4. There is a carving for each god of each of the 8 winds at the top of this tower. There's apparently a very complex water-driven mechanism inside that tower that we don't really know what it was. It's gone now. But it's just history upon history upon history. Hadrian's Library. This is the back wall of the library. All those little niches is where they stored the scrolls. This building was huge. It extended far over where I was standing when I took this picture. And that's just the back wall that is best preserved. Just absolutely spectacular. Hadrian's Library. So I have a whole bunch of, not artifacts, these are all just reproductions and little touristy knickknacks behind me on the other side of my living room here. A huge rack of them. Included among them is a rock from Iceland and a stolen ancient Roman brick from the Forum in Rome. And I had urged to include a piece of Athenian marble in that. This seemed like a good candidate. I saw this just sitting off to this side in disassociated member storage at the Hadrian's Library. This block, however, is Roman. It's not Greek, but the Romans took over Greece. So this one, you can read the inscription there at the top. Yes, Consul Effectus and all that is inscribed to Trajan. So this was during Trajan's emperorship. This is a bit hard to transport. It's very tall, probably weighs about 3 tons. So it's, yeah, not exactly. I did find a smaller piece of marble at the graveyard. I was lying in the path that I did pick up, but I was a good boy. I just threw it aside. I did not take it home with me. I was good. I was good. I was good. So anyway, This is that graveyard of which I've spoken several times before. I'm going to butcher this. Kyriakamos archaeological site. This thing is huge. It goes on forever. There are so many things here. It's an entire section of ancient Athens that has just been excavated for centuries. There is this massive graveyard with so many graves and their grave goods and everything just piled on top of each other. It also includes the ancient city walls of Athens, buildings both inside and outside of those walls, and gates through those walls. It's truly a spectacular sight, just absolutely magnificent. And one of the things that really got me the most, I mean, it's the detail of everything we have here, because we've excavated these graves for centuries, and they had a lovely, lovely museum. Also, it wasn't quite as jammed as a National Archaeological Museum, which was a true madhouse, was at Kyriakamos. And these are all grave goods left by the families of the deceased. You see that little horse there on the bottom with the wheels? That's a toy. That's the parents of a dead child put a toy with that child. And we'll never know any of their names, never know anything, but we do have that kid's toy. That hurts. That hurt. History is tough, but this is the shared experience that we all have, because there are a few standards, and it comes for us all, and it leaves such a horrible echo in our wake. But we have their memory, which is amazing in itself. Yes, we do. So they are all gone. All their names are lost. But yeah, kid, we got your toy for you. We got it. We're taking good care of it. We conserved it and preserved it and put it on display, and it's there. We got it for you. We got you. We got you. We got you. We remember you. You were here. We remember you, despite being cut down at such a young age. I'm sorry, Earth. Okay. Pull it together, Prim. Pull it together here, Earth. But yeah, it's so evocative, Earth. Finally, just a few days before I ran the marathon, I went back to the Acropolis, and I went to the Acropolis Museum, the finest museum which I have ever seen in my life. And I have been to a lot of museums. This was a building sponsored by the EU in Greece, constructed over like 20 years, and opened, I think, like a decade ago, which is a spectacular exhibit of the best of the best of the Acropolis and Greek art in general. It's just, this is the central hallway where you actually go, so the entrance is head here, and they proceed towards where I am. There's a stairway behind me. Then you go up and loop around the outside of those walls on both sides, where there are more exhibit halls on 2 more levels. And then, well, before we get to the top, we will see one artifact of the many I photographed, which is almost a symbol of modern Athens, the pensive Athena. So here we have the goddess Athena. We don't know why, but she's apparently had a day, and she's leaning on her spear. She's got her helmet pushed back, just kind of relaxing for a little bit. It's like, yeah, I feel you. I feel you. Sometimes you just gotta take a second, lean on your spear for a little bit. It's like, yeah, give me a bit here. I'll be along in a moment. I'll pull the helmet back on, and we're good to go. But even a goddess needs a break every once in a while. At the top of the Acropolis Museum are the Parthenon marbles. This room goes around all 4 sides, and is this museum in its entirety is built to the dimensions of the Parthenon itself, because these are all of the marbles that have been removed around the friezes and from the pediments of the Parthenon itself, as it is undergoing restoration works. And also, we'll talk about a few other things in a second here, but just so there was classical music playing. I was looking at the highest examples of ancient Greek sculpture in the entire world. And I mean, I was there. That's Riser's going to a current tournament, so I might not make it. Oh, hecky. That is too bad. I was looking forward to spending some time with him. But I will spend time with you, love. Absolutely. So, understandable. But he had an engagement. I'm sorry about that, because I wanted to get to know him better. Well, we will. We will. He's a good Dirk. You two accepted me. I can't believe this. Anyway, back to Athens for a bit here. We're almost done. This is the holy grail of Western sculpture. This yeah. So there were multiple friezes. These that told stories, very detailed stories around both the outside and inside colonnades. Colonnades of the Parthenon, way up high, painted in vivid colors. Obviously, we have little tiny bits and pieces in the corners of the paint left over, but of course the entire thing was just bursting with color. There were also metal pieces that were long gone, of course, but for like weaponry and other things to illustrate exactly what's going on. And these are all scenes, of course, from mythology. One of the big things, of course, was you can see here, there's several here, especially the closest piece is the centaurs. So that's one of the great stories, the foundations of Athenian history, is that the Athenians invited the centaurs to a wedding, a state wedding at Athens. And so the centaurs came, and as tends to happen sometimes at these events, they drank too much. So the centaurs all got sloshed, and the centaurs, well, being half horse, got a little randy when they were drunk and decided, you know what, we're going to take all the women. We're going to steal them all away and, do stuff to them. And so the Athenians objected. So thus a humongous battle ensued in which the heroes of Athens were doing combat hand to hand with the centaurs. There's a lot of whole battle scenes around here. So that's yeah. So yeah, my wedding, we did have an open bar, but nobody got seriously sloshed. I was happy about that because, yeah, we don't really want anybody getting seriously wasted. This bad stuff ensues. So it's happened that way for millennia. It's so evocative. These so glorious. I spent like an hour circling around here. It's just truly magnificent. And finally we come to Lord Elgin. So in between 1800 and 1803, 7th Lord Elgin, I forget his exact name, but anyway, he was, so this was, the Turks were ruling Athens at the time. The Greeks have a bit of a sore spot about that. The Turks and the Greeks do not like each other. No. So the same drink that I had in Egypt is called Turkish coffee. In Greece, it's called Greek coffee. You call it Turkish coffee, and you're going to have a bad time. So they don't like the Turks, but it was ruled by the Ottoman Empire, and the British consul to the Ottoman Empire was Lord Elgin, who had the brilliant idea that, oh, hey, there's all these beautiful sculptures on the Parthenon up there. That's a ruin. I'm going to take them. So he hired crews that over 3 solid years pried the statues away from the blocks. So this is a block from the Parthenon, and you see those 2 giant black marks at the top. That's where they shoved crowbars into a crack and split the block in half, and then carted off the front part that had the sculpture and left this part behind. So the Greeks are a little pissed about this. They've been pissed about this for a while. I have seen the Elgin marbles in the British Museum. I saw that about 30 years ago when I was a kid. The British are not giving them back, and they probably never will, because they are spectacular. They are absolutely gorgeous sculptures. The Greeks kind of want them back, and one of the reasons they built this unbelievably spectacular, multiple $100 million museum is to say, hey, we've got this world-class space for them and conservation facilities and everything. They will be protected environmentally, handled and everything. Give them back. And yeah, so that's a bit of a sore spot. So yeah, the Greeks want them back. The Brits don't want to give them up. So it's like, yeah. I mean, so the British did a lot of bad things, as I've heard the British Museum described as the world's largest crime scene. But they did do one thing for which I will say I do appreciate, and that was they spread the language. So I have been to 21 countries in this world. I can only speak English, and I have never had a significant problem. God save the king. So, yeah. So, but I'm kind of on the Greek side here. I think they should probably give them back because the Greeks are in good shape. They're part of the EU now. The Brits aren't anymore, and they can take care of them, and they belong. They belong in this magnificent, evocative space. A lot of these panels are actually reproductions because the originals have been stolen. So, yeah, that's a thing. So they want them back. So the Acropolis Museum. Last one here. Oh, and finally, the caratids. Caratids. The original columns in the shapes of women that were at that building that we saw way back at the beginning up on the Acropolis. These are the originals, which of course have been damaged over the millennia, and also acid rain and whatnot is kind of a pain. They were magnificently displayed. There were multiple people sitting around on both sides of me here sketching. I just stared. This is sculpture at its highest apex. This is Athens. Wow, what a place. I thoroughly enjoyed my trip to Greece. It's absolutely magnificent. So thank you everyone for coming with me. And I'm glad I could bring you with me on this little jaunt around the great sights of Athens from only 2 weeks ago, as I ran a marathon. In marathon, God, it's like running in the footsteps of history itself. It really was something. As this was a magnificent trip because I'm still obviously the same person, but Prim came home. Whoever I was before. Hi, my name's Primrose. I'm a wolf. My plan of becoming my RP character that is actually the best persona of everyone that I've ever loved in my entire life seems to have worked. So I hope you appreciate who I am. Oh, handsome, sexy wolf. Thank you, Astral. You are too kind. A beautiful journey through history. Thank you, Haru. Thank you. You've been here the whole time. I truly appreciate that. I'm glad I could share all of this with you. This is what I wanted to do when I streamed. I wanted to take you with me, and I wanted to, one, take you with me, and two, make a space. But we talked about that. So that's still true, but I'm here for you. But I want to take you with me because I have this ability to go see things. So there will be more pictures. There will be more pictures. Don't worry. There will be games. There will be games. Again, all is not lost. But it's not the games. It's never was. When I watch streamers, I don't watch them for the games. I watch it for the furs. So, hey, yeah, now you get me. So, thank you ever so much. So, here we are. Oh, I'm big. I am the great and terrible Oz. All must look before me and despair. Look upon my works, ye mighty, and despair. And in every direction, the long and level sands extended away. Great. I just slammed together the Wizard of Oz and Shelley. I'm going to get bonked over the head with a book, and I'm going to deserve it. So, thank you ever so much for joining me. I'm sorry, this is a short one. This is kind of thrown together. It's been very, very busy recently. I return Monday. I leave Saturday. So that's the day after tomorrow. I go back to work tomorrow. I was working today, although describing it as work is kind of pushing it a little bit. I did do some, but most of the time was spent preparing for this and everything else. I packed. I did the weekly list, which of course I will not be here to do. I did more on the preparing the house for a trip list because I have to close everything back up and get everything ready. So there's a lot of laundry and dishes and preparing stuff and all that. Get that all out of the way. I did my training, which I will not elaborate. Ooh, we are not ready for an ad. We're almost done. Kyre, welcome, love. Welcome. What, did you just join now? I'm just about ready to finish. Did you literally just join just before you stopped? Well, that's all right, because I'm going to go back because, hey, check it. That's the Parthenon. That's where I was a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. So I was showing vacation snaps. So, your wolf did a little bit of touring in Athens and saw a few things. There's a few little monuments scattered around there, like, you know, the most famous building in the entire world. So yeah, it's good stuff. Disassociated member storage, which is the fancy term for random marbles that they dug up and all that. I'm not going to go through all of them again because everyone else will get pissed off at me, but yes, so lots and lots of good stuff. So actually, I'm going to wrap it back around at the beginning really fast and show you the Acropolis Museum with the carotids, and then of course the marbles from the Parthenon. Just gorgeous. These pediments and these friezes, just spectacular. Just, oh my God, it was just so incredible. I mean, I don't have the artistic ability of an eggplant, but I can heck appreciate sculpture. Thank you, Canadian. Thank you, love. Unfortunately, I can sit here for hours listening to you. Astral, Earth, I love you, Earth. You don't have to do that just for me, sort. Well, I did, because I'm actually a little earlier than I thought I would be. I was planning to shoot for about 8 because that's when my appointment is, but my date actually. But love you. Oh, love you too, Canadian. Thank you, love. Earth. You may notice that all the redeems are gone. This is because VTuber Plus decided that it wasn't going to work tonight. So we're back to VC face. So you get low tech wolf, but at least you can still see my VTuber. Thank God. Earth. It's a baleen wire, but this happened 15 minutes before stream starts, so I had no idea what to do, so I gave up and I defaulted back. So for me, it's a hecking precious space wolf. Thank you, Kyre. Thank you, Astral. Thank you, Canadian. Thank you. So I get to share my vacation snaps, talk about my experiences, talk about my desire to get a history degree, and share it with you at the online. Haru, thank you for streaming. Take care. Thank you, Haru. And then all of you pour affection on me. Wow, why do you enjoy streaming, Prim? Why? It's certainly not the money. I don't give a shit about that. You don't have to pay me, please. No, save your money. I'm not worth it. But yeah, you're all nice to me. That's Earth. I am the good boy. Earth. I am the good boy. I am the good boy. Thank you, Everthol. That great. I'm in football mode again. The blush is fucked again. Ah, god dang it. Not long ago, wake up. Yeah, yeah. Well, good morning to the geez, my Halo's clipping. Everything's fucked. Great. We're gonna have an ad in a second here. Earth. Have disable. I do not want that to happen. So anyway, can I get another deferral in a second here? We're going to snooze that again. Ha! Good. Good, good. I think I'm out, so we're gonna have to end here, but it's thank you all of you so much. I'm clipping. That's terrible. What a baling wire mess this was, but I'm not gonna have a chance to fix it. So as I discussed on Tuesday, there will be no streams next week. This is a thank you, Coda. There is a major holiday, the second holiday of the year after Christmas, which is Thanksgiving here in the United States. So I will be traveling that entire week, and I will not be streaming. So no streams next week. So that puts us into December. On December 3rd, I think it's the 3rd. I get my dates right here. So yes, December 3rd is a Tuesday. That is the day before I leave for MFF at the 5:10 in the morning flight. So if there is a stream that day, it's going to be a short one because I need to try to get a little sleep before I have to get up at 2 in the morning. Ah, owie. So, yes, that's Kyra giving the pets. Yes, Kyra deserves all the pets and various other things. Good boy. Earth. Earth. Yes, all the lovin's. So anyway, there will be no streams next week. And the 3rd, if there is one, it's going to be very short. And then I will depart for Midwest Fur Fest in Chicago. Those of you who are going to MFF, my DMs are always open, either over or Discord, which is easy to find. If you go !more Discord and are in my server, those of you who are here all the time, I would gleefully wish to have you with. Many of you already are. And also Telegram. There's no problem. Reach out and sure. Well, I'd say hi. I'm probably going to be a pretty busy wolf. There's a lot of events going on, but oh, thank you, Sparky. Earth, thank you, love. Speaking of good wolves. And yes, but I will make a point to see anybody that wants me to at MFF. And look, I love meeting furs in person. So this will be absolutely wonderful. So everyone who is in the US, please have a lovely Thanksgiving holiday next week. If you are traveling, please be safe with your travels. Do try and make a checklist so you can remember everything like I'm trying to do. And Earth. And for those of you who are even not, still, it is still a nice concept just to be thankful for everything that we have amid all the trials and tribulations of this world. And I know they are many. We still have so much to be thankful for, starting primarily, of course, with each other. And I am thankful for all of you. I am so thankful for this life I have now, which is entirely due to all of you, due to the furs that saved my life and love me and take care of me and are with me now and are my partners and are close to me and invite me into their lives. And I am immensely thankful for all of you. Thank you. I love you all so much. So, and then MFF, and then we will be back for most of a couple weeks before Christmas, and I leave again. But yeah, one thing at a time. So yes, Earth, love you guys so much. Earth. Oh, by the way, an idea that I had had before, but I will say now, in the new year, it's going to be the new year, of course, but I'm going to start having VR chat meetups because I love going to Lance's. I want to have my own. So watch this dial in the Discord. We'll post invites for not invites, but information on that when we figure out times in like January and I'm not running around like a lunatic. But yeah, I'd love to meet all of you there. Absolutely. So yeah. So that'd be wonderful. So thank you, all of you, one of you. Okay, every one of you. So let us find someone because we've got 3 minutes. So let's see here. What have we got here on the following list? Well, Lance, of course, is still up. I was watching him before I got here. Cody, Frey. I don't know if I'd ever raid Frey. Frey is nice. Communities don't really overlap. It is a lovely fur. Oh, God, what a nice spot. But, yeah. Oh, Aiden. Lovely Aiden. Oh, Asher's up. Let's read Asher. Asher's a great bean. Asher made one of my badges I'm going to be wearing at MFF. So, yeah, let's raid into him again. I did it before, but Earth. Earth, Earth, Earth. I appreciate you for a minute of tuning. 28th of November rolls around. A tone and less angry towards Christmas music. Yes, she's almost loose. We will have Christmas music, but that's okay. Christmas is a good time. So, love you all. All right, so /raid AFHWLFY. I did it correct. There we go. So, thank you all for 9 of you. My goodness gracious. Thank you for joining me on this little tiny Athens stream, but I appreciate you all so immensely. I am so happy to have you all here with me. And I am so sorry that you get 2 streams for the entire month of November. I am terrible at my job. But Asher's lovely bean. You should give him work. He made a beautiful badge for me. He's also a very smart wolf because he put it the same on both sides. So if my badge gets flipped around, it doesn't matter. Unlike every other thing hanging from, oh, if you see it in me at MFF, my collar came in. It's gorgeous. It fits like a glove. I love it. I'm not wearing it right now. I did wear it earlier today, but I don't really have to train for it. I barely know it's there. So yes, your Prim will have his collar like a good boy at MFF. Earth. Holiday snaps. Gentle, we're just leaving. Ah, hecky. I am sorry, love. I am sorry, love. I'm sorry. But is time to go, unfortunately. I am so sorry. But Earth. The Lost Country music permanently that speaks. Wait, I'm missing something. Earth. But anyway, be good to yourselves and each other. Love you so much. Earth. Down.